Below are some numbers arranged in some pattern. We have to figure out the sum in a shortcut manner. So yes, there is a shortcut for solving this. I would want you guys to pause and try doing it. Okay, so I can think of two ways, but the second way is a bit lengthy. So I'll just go with the first version I'm thinking of. So I'm going to divide the 32s and 64s. I'm going to consider this as two different things. So now the number of 32s, how do we count it? The total sum is equal to, there are 32s and we have 4 rows and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 columns. Oh, sorry, 4 rows and 8 columns. So these are number of 32s. So this has to be added to 64s, which are 4 rows and 4 columns. So 4 into 4. Again, these are your number of cells. Okay, again, all of this is for our understanding. This you guys need not write in your exams. Now, let's do the math. 32 into plus 64 into 16. Right? So 32 into 32 will be 900 plus. So that's approximate. 32 into 32 is 1024 plus 64 into 16. This 2 is 1024. And sum of that would be 2048. Right? So that's that. So here the final answer is not the main agenda, but how do we end up with this particular expression is the whole idea. So there's one more way we can think of 64 as 232s. So you will basically end up with 8 into 8. That is 8 rows and 8 columns of 32s. So 8 into 8, let me take up the calculator. Okay. So 8 into 8 is 64 into, there are 32 of them, 32, 8 into 8. So we get the same answer. Again, what I did was, I thought of 64, each of the 64 as 232s. Okay, so there's, instead of 64, I can write it as 32 over here and 32 over here. And instead of this 64, I can write it as 32 over here, 32 over here. Instead of this 64, I can write it as 32 over here, 32 over here. Instead of this 64, I can write 32 and 32. So basically, we'll end up with 8 rows and 8 columns of 32s, and we'll get the same answer. Right? Now, here again, we are counting the number of dots. Please pause and think over how do you count the number of dots in a very faster manner. Try doing it as fast as possible. Let's start off with 3 dots. So how many cells are there? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I messed it up. So 1, 2, 3, and this is 4. So in total, there are 7 of them. So we have 3 dots. Let me actually do it part by part. Number of 3 dots. It depends on the number of 3 dot cell. So number of 3 dot. Actually, let me count the cell first. So there are 7 rows. Okay, and there are 2 of them. Right, this side as well. So we have 14 and also 1, 2, 3. So 7 rows, there are 2 of them, and we have 3 extra cells. So basically we have 7 2s are 14, 14 plus 3, 7 cells, right? 17, not 7, 17 cells. Okay, then the number of 4 dot cells. How many are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, actually, you could have imagined something else. Correct. So there are 3 into 6. So 3 rows and 6, no, 6 rows and 3 columns. 6 rows into 3 column, and this ends up with 18 cells. And finally, what do we have? So we have number of dots is equal to 17 cells into 3 dots plus 18 cells into 4 dots. Okay, and we have the answer to be that's our answer. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah. Again, it depends on your own convenience. Oh, I could have done this as well. I could have considered that there are actually this would have been faster. There's 7 of this and 4 of this, right? 7 4s are 28. So 28 threes are there. And then I could have counted the number of 4s wherein each would contribute 1 more, and I could have added that as well. Right? What I am telling is, instead of considering 4 as 4, each cell which has 4 dots as 4, I could have considered it as 3 dots plus 1. This should have made my calculation even more faster actually. So that's one more way of doing it. This methodology, I've used it in the previous video. Question number B. Okay. Again, there are many ways of doing it. You guys can figure it out.